Welcome to the AGEish podcast. Authentically and unapologetically keeping it real. Discussing all things middle-age-ish. A time when metabolism slows and confidence grows. Join fashion and fitness entrepreneur Ashley Badowski, former Celtic woman and founder of the Lisa Kelly Voice Academy, Lisa Kelly, licensed psychologist and mental health expert, Dr. Pam Wright, and highly sought-after cosmetic injector and board-certified nurse practitioner, Trisha Kennedy Roman. Join your hosts on the journey of middle-age-ish.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Middle-Age-ish. I'm Trisha Kennedy Roman, and I'm joined with my co-hosts Lisa Kelly, Dr. Pam Wright, and Ashley Badowski. And we are excited to be back. It's been a little bit. We are back.
Back. I know.
What's that song? Back Again.
But we do need some music. That would be fun.
We do. Yeah, you can.
But it's been a fun summer, but I've missed you guys.
I know.
Like, I've missed this.
Forever.
I know.
I've forgotten how to do it.
That is true. Like, I kind of, like today I got thrown off. Like, oh, I got stuff to do tonight.
I gotta be somewhere. You must have been in bed really early last night to prepare for your late night tonight.
Okay, first of all, I'm in bed early every night. I wake up to 55,000 text messages from you guys, and I'm like, good morning.
She's like, a day late. That was good. Yes, I agree. Yes.
Yes, fabulous. Heart. Oh my God.
I know what texts I'm going to be sending you then.
No.
Ashley's morning text is when I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Oh
like
my
it'll be about,
gosh.
5:45, 6 o'clock. I'll start responding. Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty much done at 7.
Absolutely.
We're the night owls for sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa will D&D unless it's something important.
Yeah, I'll be asleep by 10ish.
Really?
Yeah, 10:30ish.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Unless there's a really good Netflix.
I'm in like the most amazing REM sleep at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. I'm like so deep into dreams.
I actually could do that if I didn't work so late. I could do that. I'd be asleep.
Well, and that's valid.
Yeah. But I need to wind
What time are you?
down.
I'm a night owl. That's when my creative brain starts working. That's when I do marketing stuff.
1 a.m. I'm like, oh
my God. I'm a good noon to 2. I'm not a morning person and I'm not a night person. Unless I'm on a girls trip.
Yeah. And then you're a night person. Then you can switch it up.
Then I might switch it up a little bit.
Oh no, I still go to bed at 10.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I'm the worst.
No.
Like I leave Scott to entertain. I like, okay, like night.
Peace out.
Yeah. I'm like Cinderella. I have to be asleep before midnight. Can't do it.
That's interesting.
Cannot do it.
Yeah. We're the night owls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I usually try not to text you guys super late, but I know you're all on Do Not Disturb anyway.
Oh,
so
I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't hear anything.
That's mad.
I'm just like, I'm out.
I'm so out.
Yeah, you probably do wake up to some serious text.
I do.
Tosses there.
I know. I'm just like, okay, girls.
I miss so much.
I know. I do feel like I missed out, but I was in dreamland. So,
did you all have a good summer?
Yes.
So
it just
much
went
to
by.
catch on.
I
Yes.
know. I mean, and you guys have so much to like kind of touch base and give us info.
I feel like it went
I've been an
fast.
empty nester for a while. So to me, it was a fabulous summer, but it was kind of just status.
Yeah, mine was quiet.
Status
I didn't do
quo
much.
for the Badowskis for sure.
Yeah, same here.
But you two, Trisha and Pam, you guys had some big stuff going on.
We did.
Yeah.
Yes. Corbin went off to the Air Force Academy, so that was exciting. But
So amazing.
my first baby leaving the house, but he's super happy and loving it. So, and I'm very proud of him. He looks so cute in uniform. My goodness, he looks cute in uniform. So,
Oh,
He does look good.
he looks so
yes,
happy.
he's
So happy.
super
I know, and
happy.
that's like the biggest thing.
Yes, super happy. But that was definitely, I'm proud of him. But that was a big change. Not
Oh my God, the
Having one of
first
them-
one going is no, that is hard. That's hard on a mama's heart for sure. Yeah.
Mine keep coming back, but
They
go
do
and come
not.
back.
They
do.
Oh my goodness.
I don't feel like you ever really empty nest, right?
No.
I am.
Well,
Yeah, I
yeah.
suppose.
But
Your boys are gone. Like,
Yeah.
actually close
Different
that
states.
nest. You're out.
Yeah, like
the doors are closed.
I know. Like, no, my boys, Steven's in Kansas City, Trey's in Birmingham, and it's been that way for 5 years.
oh, so you're truly emptiness.
Like, I'm a truly.
Wow,
I mean, I just
truly.
keep adopting more deer,
oh,
which I know that sounds
sweet.
crazy, but like seriously, like I have a deer family and my dogs. My husband
It's
is
very
like,
cute.
but we had that conversation that if I buy any more, I mean, I go through like 300 pounds of deer corn a week.
That's so sweet, though.
But yeah, no, I'm an empty nester. So Pam, tell us about.
Oh my gosh. I'm never
know.
going to empty nest because now my daughter cheers at UGA. So we're going to all the away games and the home games. Well, not all of them, but most of them.
So fun.
And then my son won male best dancer. Yay!
Yes, so exciting.
So he's going to travel the country and world somewhat this year. So we'll be traveling back and forth, and he gets to go assist all these great choreographers and like do his solo and
So
start
exciting.
working on his career as a dancer. That's
It just
amazing.
truly is so amazing. Like seriously, you guys,
crazy.
it's a fun chapter of life. Yeah.
But then I think about where you are and where you are. It's like once they're like done with school and done with everything, like you really
then-
are an empty nester.
yeah, but
in
then
a
you
way.
just travel with your hubby and you go to like fun and exciting places. Like that's what my kids are like constantly telling us. Like, I cannot believe that you and dad are off this place and that place. And I mean, hello. So it really is. It's a fun
the travel.
it's a fun chapter to reconnect because we've talked about that
Yeah.
so many times that like parenting is not easy. Marriage
God, no.
and parenting is not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like to kind of like have and see your kids be super successful and go on and do what they're meant to do in their life journey and then reconnecting with your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it does. It's like, it's a gift, to be quite honest, because otherwise you would be super sad. And
Yeah.
because they are our babies and they were given to us and everything. So when you get to kind of reconnect, so it's fun. You get to just
So if you become a grandparent, will you be more at home and like with the grandkid? Like would you,
probably, I mean, I
Somewhat.
think so, but I also think that I would still, because I mean, Michael and I have just so reconnected over like the past couple of years that I would still want to do our little trips that we do to different places that we always wanted to go to. Oh my gosh, what a little baby.
Have you thought about a grandma name? I don't picture you as grandma.
No. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's so funny. Michael and I actually had that conversation probably a couple months ago. And no, not that I'm aware of, I'm about to be a grandmother. But I have no idea. I like Coco.
I can see you being a Coco.
I love
I can see
Coco. And then my nieces call me Ashy.
Oh,
cute.
that's cute.
So I'm thinking like maybe those. But I also have learned that grandchildren actually pick your name.
They do. That's true. Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't, but please don't be Granny. But I mean, if it is Granny, I will try and be the best Granny on the planet. But I'm really
I think you should be
Granny
Auntie
Ashley.
Auntie Ashley.
Auntie Ashley.
Auntie Ashley.
I know that's right. Because I mean, how can I be a grandmother when I'm 35?
Exactly.
That just
Grandma.
doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Like turning 28. You're not
I mean,
grandma,
that's how I
right?
tell people. I'm like, my kids are 27 and 24. I mean, that's just so weird because I'm 32. I don't know how that happened.
You had kids at 12.
I know.
That's
Well,
how it
we are in
happens.
the South. So you know. I mean, yeah. So I'm going to be the aunt forever.
If anyone's wondering if Santa Claus is coming to town, that's just Ashley. And her jewelry.
On her jewelry,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Your jingle
so
jangling.
true.
Oh, it's
It's like a little tambourine.
yeah.
Every time you talk.
So when Ash is talking, she's got accompaniment of her
Okay,
tambourine.
but you can tell that I haven't been here in a very long time because I knew this back before.
The rules of sound.
You need to give a good jingle so
Yeah,
they're
give a jingle
aware.
so they know. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of bracelets.
There's a scroll. There's some like meditation.
pretty.
It's very cool.
Meditation
I love
beads. There's
So, Ashley, should we put you on the outfit of the day at Alabama sororities?
Can you
Westers?
even? Okay, so I would love that because you know I love fashion. However, so I've gone down the rabbit hole. I think I've talked about reels before. I'm not very into social media, but I went down the rabbit hole of watching this reel of the outfit of the day at these sororities and how they would have this little thing and they would dissect everything that they were wearing. And I mean, oh my Lord. Like, I don't know if I could afford all of that.
That's when
And
you
I mean,
realize
I'm-
there's an 18-year-old with a better wardrobe than you have.
I mean, seriously, like I had to like kind of like rethink things because I mean, I feel like I'm fairly successful and I love fashion, but I'm like when
crazy.
because they would do like a little price point, like, okay, so this was my Cartier bracelet and my Golden Goose shoes and my Louis Vuitton purse, and they would do it. And I'm like, that's $2,300 for one outfit.
That's crazy.
For one, not even a full day, I don't think. It's for a one session. And I mean, God love whatever their parents do. but
That's insane to me.
Even for me, and I love fashion, there's absolutely no way. So I think what the girls are put through with this sorority and rush and I mean, I know it makes people happy, and I think that's so fantastic, and you got to go do you. But that's some crazy expectations for an 18-year-old, to be honest.
That's when I'm really happy to be a boy mom.
Oh, I am so happy to be a boy mom.
So is there nothing like that in a fraternity? It's not like
No.
not
Well,
the
I haven't
same.
experienced a fraternity thing yet because Corbin obviously went to Air Force Academy. But from patients and people I've talked to whose kids have gone and joined a fraternity, they're like, they went to fraternity house, played some pool with them, joined the
I
fraternity.
think that's how it is. I mean,
So-
the boys didn't
Drank a
they
keg.
the boys are in football, so that was their kind of fraternity.
And I
was
kind
football,
of,
but
as I understand it, it's not even like a formal thing. Like the rush thing, sorority, like it's a formal
it's on
you
an
do it for
app.
these days.
Yeah.
And I think for the fraternities, a lot of times it's just like they have some get-togethers over the summer, and if you get together and they like you, then they're like, you go into the fall and they're like, oh, we're already full. We already have enough people. So before even people from out of state or whatever get there, they're already completely booked with their guys because it's not a formal process. That's what
it's just crazy.
I understand.
Like, it just is absolutely insanity.
And who puts like all this pressure? Again, like we're saying, it's harder for the girls, but who's driving this pressure? Is it like competition from the girls trying to get into the sorority, or is it the sorority itself going, this is what we want?
I think it's a combination of both.
It's a mix, but you'd be surprised how many parents are like, I want my child to be this, or this, and I'm going to be upset if they're not. So
It's the same. It's like the same.
psychologically, there's some parental pressure as well.
Yeah, because I've seen like our local pages or friends that I know, and they're always saying, "Hey, do I have any friends here? Will you? What's the write a letter, a recommendation for?"
Yeah.
And then everybody jumps in and goes, "Oh yeah, well I can write one for here, and I can write one." I'm like, this is nuts. This is crazy.
From what I hear, that doesn't even hold as much weight as it used to. Like,
don't
it's
think
not
it
about
does.
legacy.
Some don't even
No.
accept it anymore.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
about
Popular girls? Is it just
I mean, it's just
Or if you're Insta famous, apparently. Instagram.
Yeah.
That's just
Social media famous. I think that's like a thing now with everything, I think.
yeah. Well, I've known with jobs and stuff.
I just feel like it's just another thing that these kids, it's just setting them up for
But here's the
failure,
thing.
because life is
I
not
know.
like that. Like, if you've got an 18-year-old who's going to have an entire outfit from their earrings to their bracelets to their watch to their shoes, purse, $2,300 for the whole get up. You're 18. What is your expectation when you get out of school and you're 22?
But it's so weird. Like, even like in the dance world, like even in other fields, I'll just say that you'll see people and they buy followers, right? So they've got 1 million followers,
You
1.2
can buy
million
followers?
Yeah.
Yes. So they buy followers, and then you look at their reels or their likes. So they'll have like, I'm just gonna make this up, 800,000 followers, and then you look at their reel and they've got like 200 likes, and you're kind of
Makes
like,
no sense.
how do you? But you can buy the blue check now next to your name to
No, I
make you
did hear
famous.
that. Yeah.
You can buy
But I'm not on
followers.
Twitter, so,
you
or
can.
X.
I mean, you can buy anything, and so it's like. And I've known parents. I will say this: I've known parents who have bought followers for their kids to make them look like they have more clout, prestige, whatever, because they think people look for that. But I'm like, but here's the thing. But then you go and you've got, even if you don't show, because now you can show how many people like your stuff or not show. But regardless, like, you can go on and count it, number one. But if you've got 8 comments and like 800,000 followers,
then you know the
there's
math.
do
But again,
the math.
it's just a not realistic world.
No.
And I just feel like
you can buy anything.
And I know, I mean, growing up when we did, I mean, obviously parents wanted you to dress nice and they, whatever. But it's just to such an extreme to this point that, again, how do you create a life outside of mom and dad that supports that type of money?
Right.
And it's not
You
realistic.
can't.
It's not realistic. And I just...
What does it teach them, though?
It teaches them that something false matters, when that actually, they'll learn a really hard lesson when they realize that that's not the case.
Do people like that though ever learn the lesson? Do you not feel that kind of money finds money and money makes more money. Like, it's very rare that those people fall flat on their face, but it's the ordinary Joe Soaps who are trying to live up to it that can't.
I mean, I feel like they might keep the facade up, but I mean, I think we've all learned in our lives that money doesn't bring happiness.
No.
And if you don't find it from within, and if you don't fall on your face and have to crawl back up and learn that lesson, then who actually are you as a person?
Yeah, I agree.
There's been such more depression and everything.
Yeah, so and maybe they just go through life. Like, you can have great cars and you can have a beautiful home and you can have all of this stuff. But I mean, if it's not coming from within, but then that's sad too, because then that's so many people running around that you're like, oh my God. But again, I don't know how that kind of stuff with the rush and all of that is sustainable in setting your child up for success.
No.
Like, I mean, you can have nice things, but you have to appreciate it. You don't have to, like.
But don't you think that's why so many people end up back at home?
Well, yeah.
When they're
because
30 and 35.
Think about what kind of job that you would have to have if you were so conditioned to have the latest handbag. And again, I love fashion.
Yeah.
But you also can do it on a really great budget and still look amazing. And people don't know what you spent.
Right.
I just don't know. I mean, it's a very small percentage where that is sustainable. And otherwise, you're just miserable because you don't have it. And you're constantly judging yourself based on the next door neighbor or the pretty housewife in the neighborhood.
There's always something better.
Always.
There's always someone prettier. There's always better clothes.
There's always someone richer. There's always someone funnier. Absolutely. You have to. And again, that's easy for us to say at our age. But I do look at those girls.
I don't know. Ashley, you're pretty funny.
Yes.
You might be up there in the top tier.
I'm just an idiot. But I do. I looked at all of those reels and it actually made me sad.
It makes me sad. It makes me really sad.
Because I just know what's coming. Like, that's the thing. I know what's coming for the majority of those girls. And it is sad.
And social media and reality TV and all those kind of things just don't help. They just don't help.
Because it makes the world look like you should be Cinderella. Yeah. And that's not reality. To be even reality TV. We all know that. I love it. I mean, I just watched the Housewives of Dubai reunion show. Amazing.
Well, I think it even gives just an unrealistic expectation of like how you have to work hard to get things too,
or that you don't have to work hard.
Even with what I do, I mean, there's so many people on Instagram now, showing like their Gucci bags, stuff like that, and like there's people who want to do what we do and think you start it and you're there, right? And you have to work hard, and you can't just all of a sudden be at that level without working hard. That's not. And you got to
fail, and you got to. And I mean, I truly feel like the harder you work, the more that you appreciate it. If you're given something, it's easy. And I so it just makes me sad. And again, that's coming from someone who adores fashion.
I know.
But
I never went through college and thought when I graduate, I'm going to be where my parents are. And I don't think my parents were anywhere great, but I didn't expect to go into like a mansion or whatever.
No,
I expected to be in a 1-bedroom apartment, struggling to make rent and figuring it out.
I wanted to become more successful than my parents. Because I mean, I had grown up that each generation wanted the next generation to be more successful.
Right.
But I didn't expect it at 25.
Right.
And again, you
But I think you see a lot of that.
No, you do. Because I just think, again, it goes back to what Lisa said, like the social media and everything is made to look picture perfect. Women are pitted against women, whether you're 18, 16, 25, 35, 55, doesn't matter. We're pitted against each other on who is better. And at the end of the day, that's the stuff that actually doesn't matter.
No.
Which is just so crazy. So anyway, I know my bracelets. I'm sorry. I probably need to take them off, don't I?
You're like, we know when you're talking.
Little jingle.
Yes. when they hear that, they know you're getting really emotional.
How animated I am. But now you can tell because I'm like, and this.
It's a sad it's a sad state of affairs. And I think because everything is so instant these days as well, you see it, you want it, I love it, I got it.
Yeah, so, you go on and buy it.
I'm totally guilty of it myself, but still, I wouldn't be guilty of kind of making a golden goose purchase once a week. I just can't justify that. And I think the older you get, maybe it's because they have nothing else to spend their money on, but I'm assuming because when they're in college, maybe they're not eating. I don't know, but there's definitely wine. I mean, like, how are you affording your wine?
I mean, again, I think my parents were very, very generous. Nothing to this extent. My parents were very gracious.
Yeah.
But even they would have been like, what are you smoking?
Oh, yeah, no.
And absolutely not. Because, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to afford it on my own. I mean, are you kidding me?
But I remember, so I went to college at UGA and my mom took out another job. So she worked 40 hours and then she worked a second job for literally 18 to 20 hours. And I would be at school and think, okay, this is opposite. But my friends would want to go out to eat and I would not want to go because I felt, because me and my brother back to back. So we were in college together for 3 years. So he started, I started, we were 3 years together and then it was after him. And back then it wasn't like Hope and Zelle and there was no scholarship. You're having to pay the full thing.
Yeah.
And he went out of state. And so I just remember I would just sit there and think, I feel so bad if my parents, my mom is working 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and spend more money on whatever, Papa John's or whatever it was back in the day.
Yeah.
But you just feel bad. But it's going from that to what you see now. It's a whole switch,
it's an expectation.
Right?
Yeah, it's entitlement.
And I would feel awful. And I didn't go out much. I remember I'd be like, okay, I go out to dinner once every 2 weeks or once a month. I'm good. But I didn't want to spend their money because I knew how hard they were working and I appreciated it.
Right.
Of course. But that's
because you're a good human, Pam.
But it's just different now. It's very different now.
There is an expectation. It's just expected.
Yeah. I think entitlement is one of the deadly sins that's just not spoken about.
So frustrating.
Yeah, to be honest, I really do. I mean, I think that entitlement is it should be one of the sins.
But you know what really bugs me is that we've created it in those kids. We have done this. And I often wonder how it's gotten to that point. Was it because of stories like yours that you're like, I don't want my kid to feel the way I felt when I was in college. Gina, how have we done this? How have we messed it up?
How do we put it back in the box?
But I think that's so true because I've seen parents.
Lisa for president.
I'm telling you.
It's the only thing we can agree on. It's the only president we can all agree on.
Please put me on the cabinet. I don't have to be VP, but put me on the cabinet.
I still, listen.
Come on, girl, let's run.
I still think it would be a very good idea to have one on each side as the president and the vice president.
I
agree.
And I think the cabinet should be that way too.
Yeah. Listen, we could go on forever about this.
I know we're not going to go down that rabbit hole yet.
I was like, there's not enough wine to do the drinking.
Not till Lisa votes on November 20th.
I do feel like our podcast the week of November 5th needs to be at somebody's house and we're going to spend the night. The next day, everybody has to take off because it's going to be a play. We're going to be like Fox News and CNN.
I know what you were just going to say there. Yes.
Me too. I was like, is there going to be bleep? Lisa, bleep. Actually, bleep. There's going to be a lot of
but that's what we've said because we had our conversations actually before we started recording that it's cool how we have different viewpoints and we can talk about that and get along and still be friends.
Be normal.
But that's the way it should be. And that's just the way it should be. How are people ever going to learn from each other if we all agree on the same topic?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Ashley is just like, she's like a woman.
That is not.
Are you ripping over there?
Is that your hip? What's going on, Ashley?
I'm like, I swear.
Was there beans in that dip you served us there?
I've lost weight. I'm feeling that this chair is about to I have my bracelets because at first I thought it was my bracelets and I'm like, oh my gosh.
You're like that one man band.
But then I move and I'm like, why is this doing?
Oh, there you go.
We're back.
Oh, yes.
Now we probably have our listeners all going to vote on the wrong day because you were trying to tell Lisa the wrong day to vote.
Yeah, that's right. So the U.S. is actually voting November 20th. So everybody out there that might be blue, November 20th. Thank you.
Yes. I know. Yeah, you see, in Ireland, we don't discuss religion or politics ever.
Oh, I agree with that.
Which
I
is
think,
probably
I think it is smart.
Yeah.
It's sad that that's how it is, though. Because,
Yeah, I don't know
do
anything
think-
about politics in Ireland, though, as a result. Because
Well,
nobody talks about it.
I mean, and that is actually a valid point. Like, we think it's safe now. That should be the thing because it's gotten so heated, and it's like you hate people just for maybe what their thoughts are or whatever. And you don't actually grow. Like, I mean, Lisa and I've had amazing conversations, and we do differ on certain things, but it makes me think.
Me too.
Like, okay, you know what? That's actually that's a valid point. And I just hate that that's not where we are. Like, that people have like moved away from family and close friends just because of something like that. And it's sad.
Yeah.
So everybody vote on November 20th. We are going to have ourselves a rip-roaring time on November 5th.
Yes. We're going to have the beep button ready. Beep, beep.
Yes, we all know what my favorite word is. That would be one fabulous drinking game, everybody.
Yes, it would.
I just want people to be peaceful. Like, no drama, no shootings, no over political stuff. Let's just all be calm, and it is what it is.
Together.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we're
is.
living on a different planet.
No. And I was listening to a thing this morning. They were talking about, that 23 years ago was like 9/11 and how America came together after that. And it didn't matter anymore whether you were red
It was
or blue.
beautiful.
It really was. I was here for it. It was
for something so tragic.
It was the most amazing time to be here.
It was actually so beautiful, and I was really, really proud to be an American.
Oh, well, as you should be. It was just.
I was very proud.
It was, it was a very awful. It was an awful, awful time, but also there was such a sense of hope and camaraderie and togetherness. And
where were you then?
Matter. I was in Minneapolis, downtown Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long had you been?
I've been here a year.
So what was your take on that, honestly?
It was so strange because it was a Monday. So when you're touring, Mondays are off. So I was actually, Scott had gone to play golf. This was pre cell phones as well. So I can't remember how I got in contact with him. But anyway, himself and his friend Oisin and a few of them had gone off.
Beeper.
Yeah, probably. And I was at home, but I was awake. I'm always awake early. But Monday, traditionally, everybody was still asleep. And I had called home and I was talking to my dad on the phone. And just as I was talking to my dad on the phone, my mum came in from our neighbours and went, "Oh my God, a plane's crashed into the Twin Towers." And I didn't know. So I turned on the TV, CNN.
I forgive you.
And I was watching it like live happen.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
I thought it was an accident. What
it was
awful
No, we did the first one. You thought that
I did. I thought it was just total accident.
And they were reporting it as an
that's how
accident. So like and I could see the chopper. There was a chopper flying around, and all of a sudden, then obviously the second one hit, and very quickly, I remember very quickly going, "This is unorganized. This is not right."
Different. Yeah.
So I was, as I said, I was the only one awake. So I phoned everybody. I called everybody's room who I knew was a New Yorker. So I called like Porrick and one of the tappers, and because I knew they were all had family in New York.
Right.
So I actually ended up getting up and going for a walk, and it was the weirdest thing because I was on the downtown in Minneapolis, and they actually closed everything, and Caribou Coffee was right beside us, and they were open. Starbucks had closed, Caribou were still open, and I went and got coffee, and we literally everybody huddled into a room, and we just sat there and watched everything all day. But it was terrifying because like you didn't have the information you have now. So you were relying, our parents and our families didn't know what was going on. And I want to say, then there was the ones shot down around the Pentagon and everything. So it was just, it was horrific.
So I was a Arise fellow. So I was in a fellowship at the CDC, and they sent everyone home. But I actually had tickets that weekend to go to New York, and they put it off to the following weekend. And I will never forget, we got on the plane, and it was an enormous plane. And I promise you, there were like 18 of us on that plane going to New York. And when we went there, obviously, like we used to go every September, but we got there and we went, and it was like, just a haze, fog, and just going, you couldn't go so far. Obviously, you couldn't go on the metro, like you couldn't go in that area, and people walking around. And like, that's when I first saw masks. People were like wearing masks, and like women pushing their babies, and just the sadness. And that's the first time I remember, because I go to New York every year, that it was just completely silent. You didn't hear a taxi cab. You didn't hear anybody beep, nothing. And then just walking around all the fire all the fire stations and seeing like all the like flowers and memorials and pictures and just, I mean, this was like literally a week after or a week and a half after 10 days, but it was just the most impactful, I think, time. Just, you'll never see or experience that. And I didn't live there. I'm not saying I was like the person that was like there going through it, but just to see that even when you're used to just going and it's like, you know, New York is loud and taxis and everybody's, you know, blowing and mad at everybody, but it was just so awful.
It was such strange. Yeah.
It was a strange place.
I had just dropped Steven off at his little pre-K at the church, and Trey had just turned 1. So we were up in the playroom and they just came on Fox News. But to be honest, it was actually a local station.
Yeah, I think mine was too.
Yeah, it was a local station. And I remember him and I were playing and saw the first one and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, because they were saying that they thought that it was like maybe like a private jet or like a single in. Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's so sad. Like someone maybe had a midair emergency and oh my gosh. And then the second, and you really do, it's kind of like how I always remember my parents talking about they knew exactly where they were when JFK was assassinated.
100%.
And like how they can remember it like to the day.
Yeah.
And I remembered in that moment that's what this is. Like this is, and then again, Lisa, like you were saying, like didn't have social media. So we were watching it in real time with the local stations. And I remember seeing the people that made the choice to jump.
Yeah.
And
that was horrific.
It just shakes you.
Yeah.
Because
that sheer terror.
Yeah. Making those decisions and then thinking and just when they came down and realizing how many people were still there and the first responders. So it just, like
it's horrible because everyone had a normal day. They said goodbye, normal with their spouses. They went to work. Everything was normal. And it's just crazy.
I mean, how many days have we had that? If you're going to get on a flight and you say, "Hey, I love you. I'll text you when I land," or "Hey, I'll call you during lunch."
And how many heroes, I mean, even that we didn't hear about, like how many heroes were there that
ordinary
day?
People that did extraordinary things. And I think that even in like the worst times, it does show the immense power of the human spirit. Because again, like I know I was watching some interviews this morning. Was it is it Silverman from Tunnel to Tower? His brother. So. His brother is the one who was the firefighter that they started the whole thing. And that so many firefighters, they perished, but they told I think his brother was like, no, you guys go back down. And he stayed because one of the people in the stairwell wasn't going to move and he was going to stay. And so just the amazing thing that the human spirit can do. And again, it was such an absolute horrific day, but to see.
It's so amazing. Yeah.
And really the world.
And pull together. Yeah.
Other than those who did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how the world came together.
We've done a tour 3 times, like with the kids, but there's like a church there, like everything around it kind of, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But
St. Patrick's or St. Paul's.
It's right there. It's right there, but everything kind of was gone but that. But that was their like kind of resource camp where they like help with like water and things like that. But they do this tour and like every time you go on the tour, they have someone who is impacted by that. Like either they're in one of the buildings or they're in a restaurant down the road or whatever, but the person gives that account and you just go through that and you just get chills every time, no matter who your person is. It's just like their account of it, even if they weren't there. It's just, and it's so quiet and it's so just serene, but sad and just so emotional. Like seeing the
it's just
water,
all the energy that.
But I never don't get touched. Yeah.
The memorial is just so, it's amazing to see. Again, busy New York, but I mean, I just went to a year ago, 2 years ago.
So quiet.
And everyone is so quiet around it. Like there's just such a
respect.
Where were you,
respect,
Trisha?
and I was getting ready to go to work and I remember watching on the news and the first one I thought, oh, this is horrible. And then the second one, I was like, oh my gosh, it was.
This was planned.
Yeah, terrifying.
One of my friends, her brother was actually killed in the Twin Towers. And she shared this morning. She shared his last text. So it was on instant message. Oh, wow. And at like 8:39, he had said, we have a conference in a little while. She said, morning, sounds good. I have to go into a 9 o'clock meeting. And then at 9:06, he said someone said to him, a plane just hit the World Trade Center, and he signed off at 9/11. And that was,
Goosebumps.
Oh, it's,
Me too.
so sad.
Just those messages, the ones from the plane that went down in Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah, that was the worst.
Like,
So
just
sad.
Yeah.
I mean, again, just
Well, then, and after that, so many that were going. So we thought one was coming to the CDC in Atlanta, right? They thought that one was going to San Francisco, San Diego, somewhere on the West Coast. Like it was scary.
Yeah.
You're right. There are definitely a lot of people that unsung heroes, and
Oh my gosh,
and you
so
think about
many.
first responders. I mean, I have so much respect for them,
Me
and
too.
just
1000%.
running into
Like you
danger
could
to
never,
save people. Like,
you
that's
could
your
never
job.
predict that. Like, I mean, you think about all the like things that you would encounter for first responders, it would never be that
like this is it.
severe.
Yeah.
And that's
For that
what
many
and that's
people.
what they say. Like the families are the ones is that when they realized I'm still gonna go up, but I'm not coming down.
Yeah.
And just that they still did it.
Yeah,
They did.
So
it's amazing.
Yep.
When you talk about you being united and everything, and there's definitely a uniting that we've not had in my lifetime. That was the most
Since,
united I've ever felt.
right.
But you think about like the quote "better together," and it's so. I wish that somehow we could do that again and
I know.
and be better together, because I was picturing. I'm an analogy person. But if you picture like two people pushing against a rock, right? We're not getting anywhere.
Right.
If all of us want to push it a certain direction, and we all want to be safe, we all want to have a great economy, we all want to have better lives, right?
Right.
And safe and good for our children and grandchildren. And if we all were pushing that rock in the same direction, like that would be.
Honey, that's the thing.
Make a difference.
Common sense has left the building because you're so right. Like we can't have a world where we all believe the exact same.
No.
Because then you, like you said, you go nowhere.
Yeah.
Like you don't grow if
No.
you all believe the exact same.
But you have to find connection and unity.
You do. Well, you have to find respect. And I think
that's what's missing. I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trisha, like it's just
Because like you said it about respect, like listening to the other person's opinion.
Yes.
Oh wait, you do have
that's
a point.
that's a valid point.
And I think that's something we definitely lack. And again, even though we might have differences in beliefs, we all still, in general, have the same end goals.
Yeah,
globally, there might be different things, but we want a better
for our
world.
kids.
Yeah.
And for all kids. And
And just empathy of like, if I see someone hurting, I'm going to help that person. I don't care
I don't care
what they're wearing or who they are, or what they look like, or their race or their gender, or whatever. You want to like help and do that
Yes.
versus like putting a roadblock up for whatever
Yeah, like
reason.
it's not my problem.
Mhm.
That I know. We just need a heart.
Yeah, we do.
Lisa
Yes,
Kelly
we
for
do.
president. I've called it.
Lisa is gonna run.
What cabinet position? We got to think about that. That could be so. What cabinet position could I
Is there a
have?
fashion? I don't think there's a
Oh, you
fashion.
could be my stylist.
I could be your psychologist.
Great. You can be my psychologist. You can just do my
Yes.
face.
Gotcha.
All right,
I got
then-
enough.
Okay, so actually,
enough.
we really don't need
We're
a cabinet.
good. No, I don't need an advisor. I don't know. I might need a financial. I'm not good at math, but that
Goodness,
doesn't
I
seem
need a
to matter.
financial-
So is it too late to enter an independent?
I don't think so.
I
think
can't.
you should.
Lads, I can't. I wasn't born here.
Hey,
Spanner in the works.
Hey,
I cannot be
I probably
president.
know somebody that can fake that.
we could
those
yeah.
documents.
fake that. Lisa Kelly for president, independent.
Yeah.
I know that seriously.
That's the thing, you can't actually be president if you're not born in the country. We can lie.
Your accent might give you away a little
It might
bit.
just
Hey,
have
can you, all right,
like, oh
all
my
right.
God.
Okay, come on.
I'd have to do my best. I can't do it on the spot. I can only
Yes,
do
you
it now.
can.
No.
You know, my
I'm going to
favorite.
do the vocal fries. Oh my God.
You know, one of my favorite things. So Lisa's son Jack works with me, and people a lot of times be like, "Oh, where are you from?" And he'll go, "Alabama." That's the funniest thing ever.
Makes me proud. One of the
Alabama.
times Jack and I were going down to Savannah last year, and we stopped in Dublin, Georgia on the way down because there was a Dunkin'. So Jack wanted a Dunkin', so we stopped.
Got to get a Dunkin'.
So this poor girl behind the desk, she's like, "Oh my God, I love your accents. Where are you from?" And Jack went, "We're from Dublin." And she just kind of went,
I
"What?"
don't know you.
He was like, "No, Dublin, Ireland." And she was like, "What?" "I don't know Dublin, Ireland."
Is that in Georgia?
Yeah.
I'm from the south side of yours.
You're like Dublin, Ireland,
exactly.
Georgia.
Yes. So, no, I can't be president this time. Maybe Harry can.
I would vote for you.
Thanks.
I would
I would
vote
vote for you.
Thanks. I wouldn't want the job.
I mean, right now, who would?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah. I don't want like 49% of the people hating me.
And that's sad because you used to think it would be like such like people that used to be so respected had that job, and now people are like, I would never want that job.
Oh God, no, I'd never want that job.
The families.
I wouldn't want to be president though of anywhere
Oh gosh.
right now. I mean, it's just awful.
It is.
Social media has ruined that.
Scrutinized. They are scrutinized so bad.
Yeah.
You know, I have to call out my college roommate who was so much fun. She was like, I'm the rule follower. She was not. But Angie would, anytime we go out, and she'd always be like, well, there goes my chances of being president. So that's pretty funny.
Oh, I lost that chance many years ago.
That was before social media. You may still be
I mean, I do think all
Trisha.
the Polaroid pictures went up in flames for me, but there might be a couple out there.
Can you imagine though people digging into your past to find
Oh,
things out?
I mean, I would almost do it just to watch the reaction of their like, is this for real?
But I will just say, like, I was just somewhere that I was, and we were going over like rules or regulations, and then it's like people go on social media and they get on this like group chat, right? That's just like about just the group of like the students that were there, and they're all doing everything and bashing people that they were just told not to do, and I'm like, this is in writing. Like, this is like when
so
people are like,
stupid.
why would you write something that people just told you not to do? That could be like, so when that person gets mad at you, they're like, hey, look what so-and-so said. And it's like everywhere. Why
like,
would you do that?
I know. It's like when the D1 scholarships, like football. I mean, I know only about the like football, but like they do a deep dive into that child's social media. And so many kids have had scholarships yanked because of that exact thing that they were told, don't do this, make good choices. I mean, because if you put it out there, it is there. There is no delete. There is no deleting it. I mean, there's like a superficial delete. Yeah. But like it's life changing.
You know, I wonder if we're more aware of that because we didn't have it. And then it's like, whoa, this is like out there versus
and we
growing
also
up with
wouldn't have put it in a letter.
Yeah.
Like, do you know the way you were you were so
right.
aware.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like when I would write something, I'd be like, "You're so great,"
because it was drilled into your head. If you
don't put it in writing.
Whereas I don't like. I think my kids are pretty smart, but the amount of times I've looked at them and gone, "Are you stupid? Why would you put that in a text?"
You kind of look at me like, "Are you in there?"
Yeah.
Why would you put like? We talk about this all the time. Why would you put that in a text?
Because you can never it never goes.
Can't take
away.
it. No, that screenshot. No,
So sad.
no. Okay, ladies. Cheers to
the 80s, but also cheers to first responders that lost their life.
Yes,
God love them. And here's to just a better world.
Yes, ma'am.
Cheers to that.
Thank you for joining the ladies of the Middle AGEish podcast as they journey through the ups and downs of this not young, but definitely not old season of life. To hear past episodes or make suggestions for future episodes, visit www.middleageish.com. That's www.middleageish.com. You can follow along on social media at Middle AGEish. Also, if you have a moment to leave a review, rate, and subscribe, that helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Middle AGEish podcast.